Okay, so I know this is the at-home series, but Mr. Colostomy is kind of about the feeling of a kind of homelessness or feeling at home in the world or feeling alienated in the world. So really, it's easier for me to talk about outside and the idea of the world being the home, or where is the location of the book. And for me, I would just I would work in coffee shops, I would work outside, I would work in different quasi-studios in the park. So I was really trying to form a medium between the internal and the external world. Yeah, so I would work on Mr. Colostomy at coffee shops like this one, and I would just go there and sit and draw and have the coffee and force myself to roll out the panels first, and then I would just go from there, and in this spirit of not knowing, like Donald Barthelme talks about in his essay. And coffee became a major theme of the book because I would see people working in the coffee shop on their laptops while I was drawing, and also guzzling this coffee. And you know, coffee is like the second world import next to oil. Coffee beans are like this major currency of the world. So a lot of it became thinking about, what is coffee? What does it mean to sit in the coffee shop? What does it mean that work is drinking coffee? What are all these people doing working? There's a couple of processes at work in Mr. Colostomy, and one is this kind of idea that there should be no mistakes, that every mistake is kind of allowed in this process that I related to the Freudian idea of parapraxis, which is like basically a Freudian slip, exposing an unconscious idea, an unconscious wish. This is the real me. This is my spirit animal, the hedgehog. This is one of my typewriters. Sometimes it turns into understandable story data, and sometimes it's just typing or stream of consciousness process work. But I like the typewriter because it's also the printer. So I like the finding things in the street and exploring the street and looking in the garbage and finding useful things in the garbage in an alchemical way, transforming them into art, I guess, which is kind of what I do with experience in Mr. Colostomy. It's just daily experience transformed into story through an intuitive, generative process of sitting down and trying to think about your day in a diaristic sensibility and harvest it for some kind of meaning or joke. Mail art, circulating economies, comics, newspapers, performance, reality, dailiness. Rolodex that has all the addresses of important people. Art history. Romanticism. Earliest influences. When I was going totally crazy working on Mr. Colostomy, I would keep these little homemade, handmade sketchbooks. So I don't know, my stuff is kind of like in between poetry, writing, comics, and performance and film. It's in between all those weird worlds. But Mr. Colostomy, definitely influenced by Harry Stephen Keeler and the web work plotting theory that he concocted to write his absurdist mystery novels. Like, I found a copy of the Arabian Nights and made me think that if I just made a comic strip every day, I would be able to stay alive. Not that anybody was trying to kill me, but